Well, here we go again. Thank you for tuning in to Locker Talk, where you'll hear about NFL stars of tomorrow today. I'm your host, Barry Barnes, founder and CEO of Locker-Report.com. And you guys can always reach out to me at any one of my social handles on Twitter at Locker_reports, Instagram, Lock Report 100, all small caps, on Facebook, LockReport.com, and also check me out at the Locker Talk Podcast. That's on Facebook. And you also can check the show out on the Bachelor News Radio Network, where you listen to my show every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Okay, folks. Week 12 of the NFL was fantastic. And when we talk about the NFL, we talk about solely the players who came through the NFL Regional Combine platform. I mean, week 12 was fantastic. A lot of action about what the players did from this platform. And we're going to jump right into it because there was a lot to get to, a lot of great information to get out there as these players had took over and got down on that field. Now, Week 12 in the NFL started on Thanksgiving Day. And when we did the preview of Week 12, we talked about two players that had a very, very good outing on Thanksgiving Day. Now, when we think about Thanksgiving, we think about the fall. We think about the leaves. We think about the colors, how it's changing on the outside. We think about good times with the family, warm, as everybody break out that nice turkey, ready to sit down and have great conversation and ready to look at football. It shows a time of sharing, a lot of caring, a lot of love. But for Tyrell Adams, there was no love there at all. At least he had no love for the Lions, as he went out there and literally destroyed the Lions by himself, tying a franchise record of 17 tackles in that game, and also forced 2 fumbles in this matchup. I mean, he was all over the place in this game. So we saw the way how Adams went to work on that field, and one of the things that had stood out was those fumbles that actually got the Texans rolling, because the way how the game was starting off, the Lions was pretty much trying to, really oppose their will, so to speak. They was really starting to get the momentum. But when the fumbles started to carry, that's when things started happening. The first fumble that he had came in the first quarter with 4 minutes and 31 seconds left, when the Lions was on the 23-yard line, and running back Jonathan Williams took the ball, bounced between 2 defenders, tried to sprint up the middle, and that's when Adams created the fumble. That was the first one, and on the next series, Adams forced another fumble. So that actually started the process for the Texas domination over the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. So we definitely give props to what Adams had did. Just to review what happened with the Washington Redskins when they went to the Dallas Cowboys, went to play the Dallas Cowboys. The Washington football team played the Dallas Cowboys. Linebacker Cole McCombs, he led his team as well in tackles with 10, and he also had a sack in that game as well. So McCombs always finds himself in a situation where he's always around the ball, getting to the quarterbacks, making the stops that they need. This Washington football team is really showing that they are for real, and this team is being led by their defense, and to be a centerpiece, a player, a pioneer from the NFL Regional Combine platform. And Cole, he's doing a fantastic job helping leading that team. This young man is strong, ready to go, help take this Washington team to the next level. And I believe slowly but surely, with all these first-round draft picks, all these players that the Washington football team had picked over the years, they starting to really come together. So that is a solid way to watch this team, and to know that we have a regional combine player there in the midst. Hey, put a big old smile on my face, so I'm definitely excited. Now, let's get to the rest of the stuff that happened in Week 12 for the NFL, because like I said, it was really exciting. And we're going to definitely start with San Francisco 49ers quarterback Nick Mullins. Yes, Nick Mullins is still at the helm of that 49ers offensive attack. Now, before their bye week, the 49ers struggled to put wins together. And Nick Mullins was definitely doing everything he could do in those situations to help his team win, but just kept falling short. And so coming into Week 12, where there's some doubt that he was not going to be the starting quarterback after the bye, honestly, not really. Head coach Kyle Shanahan pretty much staked everything into Nick Mullins, believing that he's going to be their quarterback till Jimmy Garoppolo get himself healthy. So this is what we're sticking with. However, Week 12, if Nick would have had a hard time or did not get a chance to really or actually went out there and put forth the performance that was expected, chances are he probably would have been benched. But however, Nick Mullins went out there in clutch form, went up against the Los Angeles Rams, and that defense went pretty much what a lot of the peers in the league says. That defensive tackle, Aaron Donald's the best player in the NFL, and Aaron Donald was out there. And Nick Mullins really showed some good footwork as he had to find ways to avoid him. Now, he did a good job there, but he did get caught by Aaron Donald late in the game. However, that still didn't rattle him. We all know that Nick Mullins cannot be fazed. We know that he's tough. He's never going to give up. Nick had a fantastic job as he helped the 49ers down the clutch in the last drive of the game to help secure that win with a game-winning field goal in that matchup. In that last drive that the 49ers had, the 49ers started from their own 20-yard line and drove nearly 80 yards down the field to set up Robbie Gould for the game-winning field goal. Now, in this game, Nick really just went out and he let it rip. Even Kyle Shanahan, he even recognized it. And I quote, I was real impressed with Nick today. It is not as easy at all going against that defense. If you watch how they play versus a lot of people, I know that it's very tough that the whole defense, the whole scheme, especially 99, talking about Aaron Donald, end quote. Quote, Nick's tough, keep battling, keep coming back. That pick that he had was just unfortunate on the tip, but he never went into a shell and he just held onto the ball. He kept letting it rip and making enough plays for us to win the game, end quote. So that was from the head coach. Nick Mullins went out there and did his thing. I think the 49ers is in good shape with this young man with this young man leading the team. They still in the playoff hunt. Anything can happen. The NFC is stacked. A lot of good teams there, but the 49ers going to stay in that hunt. And thanks to Nick Mullins, regional combine pioneer who came through the process in 2016, is going to be playing a very vital role for the success this year. Now, let's journey down to Miami. Now, we've been talking about Nik Needham, cornerback for the Miami Dolphins all season. He's been playing very well. Against the New York Jets in Week 12, he got his first interception of the season. Now, for some reason, he doesn't really like to have his interceptions off Sam Darnold. He got a pick off Sam Darnold last year. Sam Darnold came back from his injury, faced the Miami Dolphins. In this matchup, on the Dolphins' 32-yard line, the New York Jets was facing 3rd and 8. Aaron Donald, this was later in the quarter, late in the game. Aaron Donald took the ball from shotgun and he rolled to his right. After being pressured, Donald on the run threw the pass as he rifled the pass to wide receiver Jamison Crowder. But Needham jumped the route for the interception, took the ball up the field, but he gave a vicious stiff arm to tight end Chris Herring. It was fantastic. If you look at it right here, stiff arm, bam. Chris is the big boy. Nick is not the biggest guy in the world, but hey, he looked like it on that play right there. That nice old stiff arm, that was mean. After all that, he only returned it back for just 1 yard, but at the same time, you could tell he was exhausted when he was ready to run to the back of the end zone to celebrate. But Nick got his first pick of the season. He also finished with 5 tackles in that matchup. Nick is doing this thing. I know his mama's proud. So there's going to keep on rolling with the Miami Dolphins going into their final weeks. Now, this is something that we should start to be familiar with. And when we talk about tight end Robert Tonyan for the Green Bay Packers, we should get used to this combination real soon. Aaron Rodgers to Tonyan. Aaron Rodgers to Tonyan this year hooked up for 7 touchdowns. In Week 11, Robert had a touchdown against the Indianapolis Colts, right down the middle of the field, and pretty much on the same play against the Chicago Bears. It seemed as though that they ran the same play. Aaron Rodgers received the ball from shotgun, checked off from the right, and then saw Robert Tonyan running right down the seam in the middle, wide open for a 39-yard touchdown pass. And Robert, as usual, a little flamboyant, like how he point at the defensive player, trying to make the cover, and then he put his hands in the air. That is something that we all should get used to, because Robert is going to be in that end zone a lot for the rest of his career. and he's really shown it this year with a career high. All his numbers are career highs this year. This year, he definitely has 7 touchdowns. With a lot of season to go, he's going to visit that end zone several more times. So get used to number 85 for the Green Bay Packers getting into that end zone. So now that's going to be a great thing there. Now, when we look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they have a rookie linebacker named Mike Dana. Now, Mike Dana, if you go to locker-report.com, you may see that when you pull up that article, anything I don't talk about on the show, make sure you go and read the articles on there because it gives more detail. But Mike Dana was one of the players who would have been at the NFL Regional Combine Invitational in 2020, but due to the Corona-19 pandemic, the workouts was canceled. So if you go to the site and you see there's a little asterisk right by Mike Dana's name and all the rookies who are in the league that were going to go to the workouts, that's what that asterisk is for. Asterisk is for nothing bad, but just to highlight the situation. But Mike Dana from Michigan, he had his 2nd sack of the season. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how Carolina's Panthers defensive end, Efe Abate, was the first player from the Regional Combine platform to sack Tom Brady. Well, shucks, let's make it a habit. Mike Dana got his hands on Tom Brady as well, as he got a sack, and he also had 3 tackles in this game. Now, I really like this guy. Seattle Seahawks defensive end, Vincent Maiway, back from an injury. The Seahawks are starting to really get their legs under them, especially on the defense side of the ball, to really help Russell Wilson, those guys, make a long, strong stride into the playoffs and to, fortunately, probably go deep in the playoffs. Vincent is back now. In this matchup, Monday night against the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, I was feeling bad for Vincent because he was always getting close on the sack, but one of his teammates would beat him to it, and he just didn't get his hands on Carson Wentz. But he finally got him at the end of the game to help lock the game as he finally got his sack on Carson Wentz after he'd been close all game long. He finally brought him down for a big loss, and as you see him putting his hand in the air, he probably said to himself, not only giving glory to God, but he probably said, shucks, I finally got him. So that was a great play there for what Vincent did. And also, the Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver, Tyrell Johnson, has been having a good season so far. Don't get as many targets. In this game, he was targeted twice, and he did catch the head off, had 62 yards. But the big thing in this game was he almost made the game a little interesting, because with a minute left, when the Chargers was facing 4th and 27 in their territory, Justin Herbert was trying to scramble. He received the ball from out of shotgun formation. He would bounce around, try to roll out towards his left, try to lock in who he's going to throw the ball, where he's going to throw it at, and got himself together. And that's when he ripped the ball up the field, deep down the field, and in a big crowd of people, next thing you know, we saw Johnson was the one that corralled the ball. And look, he was trying to fight to get to that end zone to make things interesting, but they still stopped him within the 2-yard line. The Chargers was down by 10. They had no more timeouts left. If he was to score that touchdown, Chargers were lined up for an onside kick. Never know what may happen. This is the NFL. Anything can happen. But Johnson almost made this game very interesting when he caught that Hail Mary for 55 yards in that matchup. And also in that game, the defensive tackle for the Buffalo Bills, Justin Zimmer, he had 3 tackles in that matchup. And also another rookie that's been playing very, very well this season, New York Giants linebacker Ty Crowder. He had 3 tackles in this matchup. Well, folks, that wraps up Week 12, the review, what the players was able to do. Make sure you guys continue to stay locked in. And make sure you guys, please, favorite this show. Hey, subscribe to Locker Talk Podcast here on YouTube, because this show is starting to grow. It's going to do some great things, talking about NFL in ways that you will not hear nowhere else. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, and make sure you guys always go and check out locker-report.com. Also, follow me on any one of my social handles, whether it's on Twitter at locker_report, Instagram, LockerReport100, all small caps, on Facebook, LockerReport.com, and also make sure you guys check out Locker Talk Podcast on Facebook as well. And make sure you guys check out Bachelor News Radio Network, where you also hear this show every Friday at 9 a.m. Everyone stay blessed. Look forward to talk to you guys soon. Stay tuned. We got a lot more stuff to get to on Locker Talk. So make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to this show. Peace.